Hello and welcome to episode 7 of the Mxgp 2021 career mode. In today's episode we are off to Kegums, a track I bloody hate really, especially on the MX2 bikes. It's just such an awkward track and I presume I'm going to be dog slow around this place. But anyway, let's jump over to the end of qualifying. So my predictions were right, we are seconds off the pace. The 52.3 is the slowest rider other than us, and that is 3.2 seconds faster than me, so I'm not holding much hope for these races, to be brutally honest with you. But we are on the grid. What can we do off the gate? Absolutely terrible. We launched just a split second to already hit the gate, but we turn underneath them and somehow we get the bloody whole shot. Would you believe it? After that launch, ended up getting out into the lead, and this could be good for my race because the AI seem to just like rubber band down to your speed if you're leading, and they're 6, 7, 8 seconds a lap faster than me. So me being in the lead, I should be able to kind of hold them up a bit, and that will give me a chance to score some decent points. You can see already though they are right on me. They're not going to leave me get away early, so we're going to have to defend for our life at this track. Some parts of this track is quite nice, most of it I don't bloody like, would you believe. It's just not a good track, especially for the MX2. It's just displaced. Like, you just can't make that, you always short it. I ended up casing the bike and stuff, and the AI do it as well. But like anytime I go through the sector, I'm 6 seconds slower than the AI. I don't see how like they just are like teleporting through that sector. But yeah, in practice I wasn't having much fun with this track. Bike felt grand. Made small adjustments, made it slightly better. I do go quicker in the races eventually. I start to get into a bit more rhythm during the race and go quicker, but I still don't go anywhere near as fast as the AI. So we've 2.5 minutes left here in race 1. We're still just leading ahead of Viale on the KTM. But I do expect an attack soon, and we make our first mistake. We go to the outside, he goes to the inside, and that is him alongside me. We try to cut across to block off, I think it's Geertz in P3 on the YZF. Again, you see, look how short it is. They kind of fall off the bike as well. So do I. I just managed to mount up across and keep P2 for now. But another attack will be imminent. I know it will be. So we'll see how fast Viale is here. He'll just slowly pull away from. Not even slowly. He'll just disappear up the road. So for me, it's going to be a hard race. It is Geertz in P3. So good that Beaton isn't in the top 3. He's the man I want to beat because the top 5 in the championship, 2nd to 5th, is spread out by 5 points, whereas Jed Beaton is about 28 ahead of me at the moment. So we do need to start taking points off him. So P2, if we could take P2 home, that would be a good result with him not in P3 at the moment. That will be the aim anyway. I hope there will be tracks I will be quicker at later in the championship where I can actually get some W's, because I really need to take big points off him that way. I was actually riding quite well around this place. I had especially in race 1, I felt quite good in the race. I actually didn't feel as bad, wasn't making many mistakes, and it kind of stood to my pace because my pace was consistently my pace every lap. See, almost coming off there. The best lap for the AI, even with the launch, is a 53. That's like just 2 seconds exactly faster than me. We have a big mistake there out of the tight right hander, big wheelie, and I changed my riding style a lot during these races. I find usually in the races I figure out where and how I'm going wrong, which it's kind of annoying at times because you're just experimenting throughout these races. So 54.4, so that's 0.9 quicker than my qualifying lap. So we are motoring in the race, so we are doing better, but we're still just like nowhere. That's still 2 seconds slower than the last man in qualifying. So it's pretty annoying with the game not letting me qualify any better, but even though qualifying doesn't make an issue, because you see there I got a terrible launch led into turn 1. So it's more the fact that, you know, if you're seconds off the back in qualifying, you're going to struggle in the race, and you have to kind of resort to this tactic of just trying to hold them up. But we're just coming down now. Timer's just about to click down, so we'll have 0-0 on the clock any second now. So we'll have 2 full laps to go. You can see Viale is the bones of 8 seconds up the track. So that is just not, even if he crashes he loses 2 max. So for me, P2 here in race 1 would be an absolute astonishing Grand Prix result for me. I don't really see how the AI can't pass me when they're that much quicker than me, especially when they pass you they just disappear. But we're not worried about that now. We're doing quite well in P2. holding off the YZF of Geertz. But it's the start of the lap is where I'm really struggling, and in here as well I don't like that bit of track. My natural line is to go wide, and look who it is, Jed Beaton, up into P3 now. So a good race could go bad here. If he passes me, we're going to have to defend as aggressively as we can just to make sure he stays behind. We need to hope that Geertz as well can get back past him, and maybe Ruben Fernandez can get in on the party as well and just put a couple of riders between me and Jed Beaton, because I don't think I have the pace to beat him outright at any track this season, because they're just too quick. There's just some tracks I can get ahead at, and that's where I can get my results. So Viala is starting his last 2 laps. We are a country mile away from the finish line, and Jed Beaton is all over the back of us. Big mistake there, but we just get away with it. We drop back into the 55s that lap, so it might be why Beaton is all over the back of me. Slightly slower lap, but with 2 laps now to go. It's going to be interesting to see if we can even keep Beaton behind us. But look what it is now, it's 2 Yamahas, so Beaton has gone down to P5 for the moment. That is Renoir and Geertz, so it's interesting to see out of the 2 of them which is the quicker of the 2. But we've just 2 laps to go now. I'm confident I can maybe keep the podium. I don't know about P2, but as well, if there's 2 of them in the pack, as soon as one goes, the other will just happen to get past as well. It's just the nature of it. But we're going to push as hard as we can for these last 2 laps. We've 0.6 now over Beaton, so there's a kind of a 3-man group just in behind me. Bit of a mistake in there, rear wheel in the air, and I couldn't really turn the bike as was I wanted to. Again, just there, really risking it high on the beam. But this part of the track here, this little section, I'm pretty damn quick in. For some reason, I just have good drive and good speed there, consistent speed through there, but I can never get close enough to do anything with him. So I pull a second out over Beaton. So just take the pressure off for a couple of seconds in this one. Once again, we are surprising ourselves with our pace in the race, managing to up it from qualifying, and we're not crashing, we're not making too many mistakes. So it just shows that we kind of just need a bit of guidance in qualifying, and we might be able to qualify a bit higher on the grid. But here we now, final lap. We are unfortunately down to P3. We've been passed by the Yamaha, thankfully, not Jed Beaton. So unfortunately did make a mistake, and that cost me P2, but we should come home now in P3. I think Beaton is the one still behind me. It could be the other Yamaha, I'm not too sure, but they had a little moment, the 2 of them, and they fell back. You can see on the mini map there I have quite a bit of time, but it is, I think it's actually Geertz at the moment. It's Renoir who's actually gone up front. Viala has won it. We are nowhere near the finish, and he's already celebrating. So good result for him on the KTM. He was rapid, and I couldn't really do anything with him behind me. But up to the line we come. It's going to be a podium, a really unlikely podium at that. So it's actually Beaton who comes home in P4, so not ideal for me, because that's not many points gained. Only 2 points gained, but every point will add up at the end of the season. Geertz falls to P6 in the end, and Viala comes home with the victory. Race 2 now. I've shown what I can do. I don't believe I can win it. I think it'll be too hard to win it. I think there's just too many to be able to pass, and I don't reckon I'll be able to keep them all behind. But if we get a good launch, which we did, there's no reason why we can't get another podium. We just go to the inside here. We actually just touch the berm round into Beaton's line. We actually have a bit of contact. He spins around, but we get the whole shot for the 2nd time in this episode, and that time we actually deserved it. So now back into the lead. We just need to do what we did in race 1, hold our fort for as long as we can, and see can we at least come way ahead of Beaton. So it looks like Viala once again is tucked in behind me on the KTM. And it's interesting to see now if I can see where Beaton's dropped to. So again, I go defensive in here, always take the shallow line. They don't really take an outside line, and as well, if they do, they're usually a bit slower. They like, if you go for the outside line, they just cut the inside and just somehow get past you. But again, just landing ever so short in that one. But unfortunately, even on lap 1, Viala had other ideas, pushes the way through, and that is us out of the lead early in race 2. So we're going to try and chase him as best we can, but it was a big uphill task. Geertz has passed me, and we almost got past them by his teammate. So we are slipping back the field early in race 2. Now they're kind of battling and hold each other up, because this is towards the end of the race now. We're just about the end of the clock, and we are on their back wheel, and we're sitting in P3 still. Gertz nearly pretty much goes off track there. We go really aggressive into the inside line, and again through here you might see here a bit of overspeed on how fast I am through this little section here. They take the other line, I go to the outside, I'm right on the back of Viale. I just don't have enough to counter. But we do stick it up the inside, but we don't have enough grip to get it done. And again we have a look up the inside, he goes to the outside, and we actually kind of fall out of a rush, and that kills the drive. We go over that, try and scrub it as best we can, but that leaves Renoir up alongside, but we just managed to defend. No, we don't. He actually gets me, so we're off the podium, unfortunately for me. So again, small scrub over the tabletop. We're going to duck to the inside. We're going to try our best to get past these boys. We're quite good out of the next corner on traction, but we pull a huge wheelie, almost lose it. And again, we just slide up the inside, small bit of contact for Renoir, and we actually get stuck on his back wheel. They collide. We slide up the inside of the Yamaha. A lot of air brake, get a turn, but the Yamaha does beat me out there. But Viale, we get him back again, and we get the Yamaha on the exit, but it looks like they're going to hold it. Gertz has started last two. We touched the big kicker there. That's not what we wanted. If we rode around the outside, we could have maybe got P2 back. We've 2 laps to go now, and unfortunately we're back down to P3. So it looks like at best it's going to be a double P3. So 2 podiums wouldn't be a bad result at all. But now it looks like it's Jed Beaton who's managed to get his way up to P4. So Beaton again, once again behind me. And I need Viale to pull his finger out and stick a move on him so he can give me a bit of some breathing room for the remaining 2 laps. Because it's going to be very tough to keep him where he is. Because again, Beaton, he's already been beaten in the first race, pardon the pun. And I don't think he'll want to be on the receiving end of it again in race 2. So he's 0.4 behind me. Pretty much nothing in this. And I know as soon as, if he does get past me, as soon as he gets past me, he's gone. There is nothing. So we're going to defend. Constantly going to the inside line. Bit of a mistake there on entry to the ruts. We just get away with it again. Just pin it around the outside. Using a lot of weight to the rear of the bike just to keep the bike in check. A nice little, just over jumped it that time actually. And it does say on the time screen now that Viale is back to P4. So that is good overall for my race if he can hold it. But I believe Jed Beaton is probably the fastest man on track if he had clear track, but he doesn't. He has a lovely TM coloured Husker van in front of him, and I believe we can hold this. It's going to be tough, but I believe we can just about hold on to it. Again, in here we're pretty good. Just get it stopped, get it turned, and just grip a small bit of a wheelie. It doesn't do anything to us this time round. So we're coming up now at the end of the penultimate lap. We'll have 1 full lap to go to complete a double podium. Gertz has started last lap, setting the fast lap of the race on his way to it. So 48.2s for the eye. I'm going to do a 51.230. So that's almost as fast as the slowest man went in qualifying, but still not. Jump now to the middle of the final lap. It is Beaton who's behind me for the moment. He only has 1 lap now to get ahead of me and try and steal back the points we robbed in race 1. But we're going to try our damnedest to keep this because we need them points. He's going to be hard to beat over a season. He already has a big gap and he's still marginally the quickest man. But Viale now is up into P4, so if he can hold that, taking points off Viale and Beaton would be a brilliant result for us. There's kind of about 6 riders in this championship that could win it. Beaton at the moment is the clear favourite, fastest man most weeks, and that comfortable buffer in the championship is really in his favour at the moment. Nice scrub there, just thrown off a small bit, but Viale is there. Any slip up from me and Viale will have P3, the final spot on the podium, and we almost lose it there, but just about get away with it, thankfully, for my championship challenge. Otherwise we would have been in hot water. Gertz ends up winning it and then crashes somehow, so maybe a failed scrub across the line. But anyway, we have just a bit of a stretch now to the line, and we should have it done nicely. But it does a wheel to the inside. Who is it? It is Viale. So Viale comes home in P4, thankfully for me. That means Beaton's 5th, so I think we should pull about 6 points back on him in the overall championship if I am correct. But a double podium at a track I was damn slow. So 53.0. You can see even Jed Beaton's fast, that was a 53.7, so he's held up massive behind me. We gain 4 points only over Jed Beaton, so again, nothing crazy. We lose 1 to Viale and lose 4 to Renoir. So the championship is going to get tight. If we work together, we might be able to pull him back. And here is the championship. So we are 22 points behind, so we need a lot more than 4 points to get that gap back. We're 3 points off Jaeger Gertz, so we're almost at the top, but we just need a small bit more pace to get to Jed Beaton's level of point scoring at the moment. But I am going to leave it there for episode 7 of the Mxgp 2021 career mode. If you did enjoy, drop a subscription number or a like to support the channel, and I shall catch you all in the next episode. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.